Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. It's your boy Johnny Go Vroom. So it has happened. If you are riding an Inmotion v14 50S, it has finally happened. They have released the firmware, guys. They have released the Dragon. They have effectively upgraded the v14 into something brand new, amazing, powerful, faster. I don't know how they did it, but they went in there with their wizard magic and they tweaked the firmware, and now we have even more torque out of the v14 50S. Now we have even more top speed out of the v14 50S. So they're still working on it for the GB model. I don't know if it's ever going to make it to the GB model. That's the one that I have. So if you have a GB model, don't feel like you can't have fun, because that's what I still have. But I just want to bring it to your attention, guys, that this is one of the reasons why I absolutely love supporting Inmotion as a company, okay? Because, and I have to say Begode, because they've been the worst about cannibalizing their wheels. And I really feel like even Leaperkim is not as good at this as Inmotion has been. I feel so good trying to promote and get you to embrace the Inmotion ecosystem, because anybody that decided to get a V14 as a result of seeing me ride the V14, you got the 50S version. Most of you did, because they swapped to that pretty quick. If you did that, you effectively got two wheels for the price of one. Hear me. In the Begode ecosystem, they would create a version 1, 2, 3, 4. They would create a Pro Max, etc., etc., etc. And while Inmotion does have a Pro V14 coming out, the specifications that make that wheel what it is are available to people who have already purchased the V14. So they're not locking this behind a paywall. Like, if you have a 50S V14, you do get this upgrade. And to me, that is absolutely amazing and speaks volumes of the company. And so that is an instance of the value literally appreciating in a wheel by virtue of its stats and capacities, right? Like, this is now basically not the wheel that I'm riding, this is a V9 that I'm riding, but the V14 is now a traffic-capable cruising wheel, which is absolutely amazing, guys. I really don't even know what to say. I am so happy, especially when you do see people that have purchased, a Blitz Pro, and then, the race drops and the race is cheaper. And I do appreciate that. I appreciate the idea that Begode said, you know what, guys, double down, support us right now. And, we're going to give you the best that we've got if you give us just a little bit of money to support us right now. And we did. It worked. That was okay. To me, that was cool. But that's because I know that the ecosystem of cannibalism has to have a breaking point at some time. And the fact is, for what they were offering with the race, what they've offered with the race, they can't actually cannibalize any lower. They would be giving the wheel away. Effectively, they would just be giving these wheels to us. So they can't actually go any lower than where they are with the race. So I knew confidently that my purchase would not be something that I would feel was a cannibalization in the future, because nothing could come across as a better value than what that is. And the dialogue was going to carry with people. People were going to talk about the race like that $2,500 price point is going to be like the price point into perpetuity. And that is not what it is. So it's funny, because even right now, people talk about that price point like that's like what it is, and that's not at all what it is. Effectively, the race that everybody wants, the race that was advertised, is a $3,500 wheel. Anyway, I digress. The race cannot be cannibalized by virtue of where it's positioned. So I felt confident in that purchase, and I was really happy about that. But that said, I'm just so excited, guys. And I wanted to let you know, I wanted to give you a heads up that, if you didn't know already, that the V14 50S upgrade to the 50 mile per hour is now fully live, locked, loaded, ready to go. I'm super duper excited for everybody that gets to have this as an upgrade. It makes me feel great as an influencer. If I influenced you to get the V14, you now have a V14 that is capable of so much more than it was at launch. And that is a beautiful thing. Man, I can't wait till they launch the 50 mile an hour upgrade for the V9. they're not going to do that. But to meet you in the middle somewhere, They are definitely working on more than just the V14, working on more than just the P6. And that's all I'm going to say, guys. So, if you buy into the Inmotion ecosystem, if you support them with your dollars, they will support you with their R&D, their time, their dedication to the products that you have purchased. There's some people that I see out there that will always have some qualms and some problems and some issues. And, I don't know what each and every person's situation is. And I know that Inmotion can't be perfect with each and every person. But oftentimes when I try to talk to people about their situation, I find that they really haven't given Inmotion a fair chance. They haven't actually gone through the steps, the processes to try. And this is like funny. So this is one of the this guy on his bike, he was going to beat me, but then I started going uphill. And it's funny because it's one of the few times that a bicycle ever can outpace me while I'm on an electrical unicycle. But the V9 goes right around that 20 mile an hour is where it likes to cruise. You can punch it up to 27 miles an hour, but I don't really do that too often. It'd be funny if this thing was punched up to 50 miles an hour. You would definitely have to put some pads on it, man. You would definitely have to put some pads on it. So just a little bit of the space race. Max, he has now absolutely shattered all of the speed records for the 0 to 30 mile an hour with a 1 foot rollout setting on the drag on the drag system that he's using. I believe it's the race box. So he has absolutely shattered the ceiling on that. Previously, it was at 1.91, and that was Roger Hajali, and that was on the Blitz. And then the 1.95 was on the race by Show Scott, and now Max Berger got down to like 1.8 something, 88 or something like that, on his Commander Pro, his modded 168 volt Commander Pro, and then he got down to 1.55. Now, I saw people commenting, and I'm not really sure. It looked like his Commander Pro, like a modded Commander Pro, but it very well could have been a Commander Max. A couple of people said that it was a Commander Max. I don't think it was the Commander Max, if I'm not mistaken. That wheel that he was standing next to in the picture did not look like a Commander Max. So I feel like the weight savings that was available to him riding the Commander riding the Commander gave him a significant edge when trying to launch. Essentially, I mean, he's launching the 4,000 watt plus P6 nonstop working training. So this is effectively like a personal training, or like an exercise overload thing. So it's like if you have a massive wheel and you train launching on that wheel all the time, and then you go back to a smaller wheel that's still capable of holding you up and you launch on that wheel, you are going to be much better at that wheel. That is central nervous system adaptation. You are working with your CNS. This is the same thing like if you go from having a heavy baseball bat to a light baseball bat. This is the same thing like if you do shadow boxing with dumbbells and then you take the dumbbells away, you're going to be a lot quicker there. So it's the same principle. So effectively, he just trained for his launch in a really crazy way by doing all of the insane stuff that he was doing with Inmotion, pushing the P6 nonstop, and then hop on a lighter wheel, and you're going to get faster. It's just what it is. So that's cool. It's actually cool from a personal trainer perspective to see the central nervous system adaptations being, worked in really unique ways. It's almost like the same thing as people who jog with a weighted vest on or something like that. So it's just really cool to see. And I don't know that it was intentional. I think it was completely unintentional. But the thing that I think what that's going to do, and this is one of the reasons why I was kind of salty that we didn't have, a lot of heavier riders. I wanted, if I was Inmotion, I would have had a 150-pound rider, a 200-pound rider, and a 250-pound rider. So we had a much better gradient of what the forces that these different riders could put out, because frankly, none of the guys look like they're over 200 pounds, and the power to weight ratio of a wheel is dynamically influenced by the weight of the rider as well. And so the overall power to weight ratio of the P6 combination with the Max is going to be much lower than the overall power ratio of a Max paired with a wheel that's lighter, like the Commander Pro that he's got that's modded. So it's odd because you've got people that are like, oh, the P6 is more powerful, but what does that even mean if he can't break the speed on it? And it's like, well, I mean, guys, you don't have a really full understanding of how power output outside of a vacuum will always be the sum of the rider plus the wheel, right? And the rider's weight is going to dynamically impact what that is, the amount of forward force, lever force that they are going to be able to apply. It's just like somebody that has a big old muscly dude trying to use a monkey wrench versus a little skinny person trying to use a monkey wrench. The amount of down force that they are going to be able to put forward is going to be different. So when you look at the way that a lean happens, okay, look at a lean, all right, and then think about attaching a wrench to the wheel the same way that the lean happens. A person that's light is going to get nowhere near the amount of downforce as somebody that is heavy. They just will not physically be able to produce that force. It's no knock on anybody. So it is because of that that I really would have liked to have seen different riders of different weights, very specifically 50-pound gaps, 150, 200, 250, so we would know how the wheel functions with all of these different people. I know that we are not spoiled for choice when it comes to performance riders across these gradients. Maybe we are. I mean, I feel like Aaron Doria, I feel like that dude's heavier. He's a little bit of a bigger dude, maybe. I mean, he looked like he was like a 200-plus pound dude to me, but that could be wrong. So maybe we're just not spoiled for choice in riders of all of these different weight categories. But I definitely don't think that it's a fair assessment to say that, you know, the P6 is slower or doesn't have as much torque based upon like the launch speeds or whatever. I think that there's a lot more that goes into that than what people realize. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. And I know it's been all about Inmotion this particular video, but I did want to talk a little bit about Cruisin. Guys, they are back in the race in a big way, man. I have seen so many videos of the F18 performing with its suspension in a far better capacity than I've seen any other wheel performing with its suspension. To date, up to this point, I have never seen a wheel that performs like I've seen the F18 going upstairs, the torque keeping at 100% level pedals, not a single dip or weird anomaly going upstairs. I saw the F18 go upstairs with somebody on with a piggyback ride, piggybacking on the F18 going upstairs. So, you know, it's probably going to say that it's rated for like 300 pounds or something like that, but it is definitely rated for even more than that. It is so insane to see how like Cruisin is just doing their thing right now, guys. And to all of you who stayed strong supporting next-gen mobility through the thick and the thin, I just wanted to give you a heads up and let you know that the man Rob Fail is looking out for everyone right now. He is actively in communication with Cruisin about developing a high-speed, high-performance electric unicycle that is going to be competitive with some of the higher voltage badass wheels that we got going on right now. And this brings it back to, what can a dealership do? What can a dealer do that the individuals can't do? Well, a dealer has the power to communicate with thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single sitting. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, that sort of communication, if you were talking to me and you had $1,000 and there was like 100 of you, and then there was like one person that had hundreds of thousands of dollars and it was just one of them, it would be way easier for me to filter through what the people want by communicating with that one person who has an active purchasing relationship with all of those riders than it would be for me to try to communicate with each and every single rider who are never going to agree on anything. Even if they agree about the diameter, they're going to disagree about the range, the voltage that's needed. They're going to disagree about every single thing. I've seen it. I've seen it inside of the forums. I've seen it in the Begode forums. I've seen it in the Inmotion forums. Nobody ever agrees about the wheel. And even if even if your wheel, like your perfect wheel, could be made the next day that you see somebody do something that's cool that you would want to do, that wheel that you have in your mind is going to change. It's going to be a moving goalpost. So when you're like, oh, but if they reach out to the individuals, then they can actually do it better. They can react better to the individuals if they just talk to all of the individuals. Do you know how much resources it takes to talk to all of us, to every single one of us, to make us all important inside of that process? And then when you have that many voices, then no voice is important. I'm going to be honest with you. When you're talking to that many people, then you really get to hear nobody. So it's BS when people are like, oh, well, I can communicate to them directly and it's going to be easier and better. Some of you have good relationships with the dealers, just like or with the manufacturers, just like I do. That doesn't mean that that's everybody's experiences, okay? And just putting it out there. But when you're a distributor and you're sitting here and you are buying, 20, 30, 40, 50 units at a time, you have a voice and you can communicate. And it's just, regardless of how you feel about any of what I just said, even if you agree or you disagree. And I'm happy to hear you out in the comments down below. And I'm kind of a shithead, so I apologize in advance if I come across snarky. But it's just me, guys. I'm a little bit retarded, and I'm sorry. And that's actually true, bro. That's actually true. I'm not like, I'm just a little tweaked. Regardless of how you feel about that, the fact is that Rob is out here trying to do things that he is not directly getting paid for right now. He is acting as an ambassador for the community to try and develop wheels that he sees there is a need for. Guys, come on, man. He could be doing so many other things with his time. He doesn't have to be involved this way, trying to see these sorts of things happen to make the consumers even happier based upon the feedback that he's getting. He is doing way more than is required to collect money for slinging wheels. And I think it's pretty cool, man. And I can't wait to see what King Song comes out with. It's really nice to see those guys adopting this sort of, they're like a phoenix right now, guys. They literally burned up in the S22, right? The Eagle. It was like literally just burned up. It was like a phoenix. And now it feels like they're rising from the ashes, man. That's so cool. What a great time. What a great time to be around. Let's just do a quick rundown, man. The Oryx is doing amazing. It's a great wheel. Capacitors, be damned. Some people had a rough time with it. I've heard a couple of things about suspension from some people, but for me, I was able to get the suspension that I wanted out of it, and I was able to get exactly what I felt like I needed from the performance of that wheel. So right now, health check. Leaperchem, in my opinion, is doing just fine. They handled the issues with dignity and respect for everybody involved. They're doing just fine. Extreme Bull. So Primo just posted. He's in love. He is so happy. And as long as Extreme Bull can double down on the quality control things that, again, Rob Fail has been pushing. Rob Fail has been pushing so hard to make sure that they get 100% quality control out of the factory, going back and forth with them. They're like, oh, well, you should get a third party to do it. And it's like, well, I honestly don't think that a distributor is the technical authority on QCing the technical product. So to me, the manufacturer really needs to be doing the QC, because how the hell, as a person who works with spreadsheets and customer service, do I know exactly where the soldering needs to happen? Soldering. How do I know where that needs to go? How do I know, how to rewire a motor or whatever the hell? Guys, you can tell I am not super duper well versed in how to build an electronic unicycle, which is why I'm not part of the QC for electronic unicycles. Just the same. It's really cool to see that Rob Fail did push for that, and it's really cool to see that Primo is happy. So, health check, Leaperkin, good. Extreme Bull, good. They responded well, and everybody that has an Extreme Bull Commander Max is absolutely in love and breaking personal records with their speed capacities. So we love to see that. Inmotion, right now, doing good. They had a fresh launch with the V12S for a commuter, series sort of wheel. And then we've got the P6 underway. They're doing everything they need to do to test it, make it work as best as they can. They're pushing it to the limits day in and day out, recalibrating the firmware, rewriting the firmware. Inmotion is doing good right now. Begode, I know there's a lot of opinions about whether or not Begode is doing good, but my personal opinion is that Begode is doing just fine. Begode has a warehouse in the United States. They have vested interests in keeping this market moving. I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. I could be wrong. I could completely be off base, but, and this is the one that I am the most iffy about, because it does seem like they've made some erratic movements here lately. But just like I said back in the day, man, you know, Begode is the element of fire, and fire is erratic. Fire is quick. Fire moves. Fire is destructive. But fire also gives an opportunity for rebirth. And being the company whose element is fire, in my opinion, it makes it seem like this is just what fire does. It's erratic. It moves. It tears up. And then when everything is settled, things get a chance to grow again. And I think that that's kind of what's happening. So they've got warehouse in the United States, at least one, and I don't believe that they are pulling back anytime soon on their progress, on what it is that they're trying to do. So in my opinion, Begode is not doing the best in terms of like the health, but it seems like they're doing pretty good, guys. I really do feel like they are, okay? They're fulfilling all of the orders. I mean, like what we asked. So let's just be fair. Let me just be fair. My demand was pretty much get these wheels to us inside of 2 months, right at 2 months. And if they could do that, if they could make that happen, then they would be good. They would be okay. And in my opinion, it looks like that's where we are. It looks like they are going to have this done in 2 months. So I can speculate, I can say everything else that I want to say, but the metric that I gave for myself was if they could make this happen. I put my money where my mouth was to see if they could make it happen. It was a gamble. It was partly a gamble against them. I couldn't talk trash if I wasn't involved in the situation, but I also wanted the fastest wheel. So it was like a 50-50 for me. I really wanted it to happen, but I was also like, man, guys, if this doesn't happen, I'm going to be really, really upset. And they've done it, man. They've done it. They pulled through. And the last little status update that I want to do is on Kingsong. And honestly, guys, I really expected them to fold in the next couple years. But it seems like they've went back to the drawing table and drawing board table. They went back to the planning table. I don't know, the drawing board. They went back to the drawing board, and they have come back with something really, really good. I felt like the F-22 was kind of largely a waste, but the people who have received it and understood what they were purchasing are absolutely in love. It's a Cadillac. It's got plenty of torque, and the speed is capped, but it feels good. They're happy with what they have. And honestly, I can't speak on what somebody else wants. And so if they like it, they like it. It's not for me, and it wasn't broadly received. I do think the F-18, however, is going to be broadly accepted, widely received, and lots of people are going to be super duper happy about that wheel. And knowing that they're talking to Rob Fail about making a performance wheel means that they've got money, means that they've got time for R&D, means that they've got their head on straight, their eyes focused on the future, and making some really cool things happen. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. I really didn't plan on it being this long, but whatever. I end up getting kind of excited about this stuff, and then I end up chatting. But I'm going to say thank you again to all of my members. You guys absolutely rock. I can't believe that you guys actually enjoy my content so much, because I put out so much content. I don't even know if I like my content that much. I watch probably every video like 3 times because I have to just make sure everything's okay. But it's just cool to see that you guys care. And so thanks. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right. If you want to purchase a electric unicycle for yourself, there are links down below. Those links will take you to all of the places where you can purchase the finest of fine electric unicycles, maybe some pads, maybe some pedals, whatever. Again, I just appreciate you all, and you coming back and subscribing is more than I ever would have imagined anybody would have done. So thank you, and stay blessed, guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Oh man, my legs are too exposed, guys. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I want all of the poisons that can come from this trail. Not today.